very fortunate to have several members of the film's cast with us here tonight, and in alphabetical order, I would like to introduce, beginning with the prolific writer and filmmaker behind projects ranging from the TV series The Invaders to the movies It's Alive and Phone Booth, the one and only Larry Cohen. I will announce this individual, even though I don't know if he's in the room yet. He's just sitting down right now. The writer of Marvel Comics films such as The Incredible Hulk, and also the writer-director of some wonderful improv movies, including Incident at Loch Ness, the recently seated Zach Penn. I will also introduce this individual, not knowing if he's in the room, but we will applaud him as if he is. He should be joining us later if he's not here already. A veteran screenwriter whose endeavors as the director of dramas for grown-ups include Breach and Shattered Glass, Billy Ray. Playwright and director who was nominated for an Oscar for writing the screenplay of The Motorcycle Diaries, Jose Rivera. The creator of the Major League franchise and also the author of one of the most entertaining screenplays ever written, an Academy Award winner for The Sting, David S. Ward. I'd like to thank our presenters for this evening, the great team at Final Draft Incorporated and Script Magazine. And beginning with Andrew and moving from there, the great team at the American Cinematheque. Thank you very much, American Cinematheque. I think we're all here because we're fascinated by the craft and business of screenwriting, and that's why I got involved in this project. Because I'm a screenwriter, I belong to a community of invisible artists. That's why I hope this movie helps explain why screenwriters matter. There wouldn't be movies without stories, and there wouldn't be stories without writers. This one will introduce you to everyone from the kind of writer I am right now, and that would of course be fabulously talented but struggling, to the kind of writer I fully anticipate being about 3 weeks from now, and that would of course be fabulously talented and grotesquely overpaid. And even though I think you'll all learn something from this movie, I designed the movie to be a fun ride, so it's okay to loosen up and laugh, because as you will discover shortly, William Goldman is really already unhappy enough for all of us. Thank you for coming, and please enjoy Tales from the Script. Why do you think that so many people perceive the writer-executive relationship as adversarial?
Well, first of all, I think you have to keep in mind that a lot of people are using executive as a shorthand. I bet if you went back through all those clips and figured out who exactly they were complaining about, quite often it would be the producer, quite often it would be a director. I should point out, I won't name names, it's no one up here, but there's plenty of writers who are the people who are at the other end of those complaints as well. You know, there's a whole daisy chain of people fucking each other over in Hollywood, and there's not many of us who actually get along.
That was going to be the animated portion of the film.
Sorry, yeah. But so I think it's important to remember that executive, my wife being one of them, is not always the person who's the problem, but. Look, there's a lot of shitty studio executives. I mean, there's a lot of shitty writers too. I mean, it is by nature an adversarial. It's like, why do basketball coaches not get along with basketball players? It's part of the equation, I would say.
Larry, I'd like to have you expand a little bit on something you said in the movie. Why do you find the development process so frustrating, and more specifically, the contemporary development process versus the simpler process that it used to be?
Well, I don't find it that frustrating, frankly. I think that anything in life is going to be disastrous for you if you live your life to please other people. If you live your life to do what you want to do and please yourself, you can find some degree of satisfaction and happiness. This is just an example of a business where people are trying to please other people instead of just having esteem for their own work. If you like the script you wrote that script. If they change it and they screw the movie up, you still wrote a great script. Move on to the next one, write another script, and just be pleased with the work you did. The only reward you're ever going to get is the time you're writing the script. As you're sitting there that day and you're turning out those pages and it's a really good scene and you feel great about it, that's the only reward you can ever expect. The money's great too, but that's the real reward. You wrote it, and nobody can take that away from you. You know you did it. Now, what everybody else says about you, or what the studio says about you, what some director says about you, who cares? You know what you did yourself. And to me, the best book I've ever written about writing has nothing to do with writing. It's The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. The old fisherman goes out on the waters all by himself and catches the giant fish. Nobody else is there. He knows he did it. But by the time he gets back to shore, all the sharks have come and eaten away the flesh of the fish. And there's nothing but the skeleton. And yet he knows that he caught that great fish. Nobody else was there to see it, but he did it. That's what it's all about. If you've got that in your heart, then you can find happiness in this. If you're not going to be able to find that, you're going to be miserable in this business and angry at people. Who needs to be that way? So that's what
David, you talked about the financial importance of credits in the movie. Can you talk about, in a little more detail, about why it's important to receive screen credit above and beyond the dollar value?
Well, I think, obviously, money is important. You want to be paid for what you did, but I think the screen credit is important because, first of all, it helps you get more work. It lets people know that you actually did work on a movie, that you did have something to do with its success. I mean, actually, even having a movie released generally helps you because it shows you're still active in the business and that you're capable of doing something that somebody wants to invest in. So credit is it's not just a personal ego thing. It's more about keeping a presence and a sense of yourself in the business, that people are aware of you. They know you're out there. They know you're still active. They know they have another chance to see another example of your work that may be different from something else you've done, so that they don't just box you into one area and call you to do certain things. Now they may see that, you think you can do that too. So that's why credit's important.